What's happening, guys? Matt Sheriff here, and in this video I want to talk about Bitcoin versus Litecoin and some of the similarities and some of the differences. And a lot of the platform has a lot of the same kind of foundation, but a little bit of tweaks and differences in how they were built. So Bitcoin was created in 2009 and Litecoin was created in 2011. And this is actually an article from Coindesk.com in 2014. So we can kind of look at this now, and some of the information we'll kind of see that's changed, and that might help you understand more of where this is kind of going. So Litecoin is actually built from Bitcoin and from that blockchain, and was actually made by a man called Charles Lee, who was a Google engineer. Then he worked for Coinbase.com, which I'm sure you've heard before, and now he's doing a lot of work in the cryptocurrency field. So both Litecoin and Bitcoin are decentralized cryptocurrencies that are mined and are verified on an open network. So if we look here, we can see that the coin limits of the two are different. So there'll only ever be 21 million Bitcoins created, but there'll be 84 million Litecoin created. And that's in the whole network over years and years of mining. And the algorithm that is used to mine the coin is different. And we'll get into that a little bit after this, but not too much. And then the block time is different also. So what that means is obviously the way that any cryptocurrency is verified and trusted is through the blockchain. So when you have Bitcoin, a new block is created every 10 minutes. So that means that transactions fill the block on the network, and then that block gets solidified every 10 minutes, and the verification of transactions go through it. The difference is that Litecoin only takes 2.5 minutes to verify the block on that particular blockchain. There have been differences that have come around before, the 1st of August 2017. Litecoin had segregated witness and Bitcoin didn't. But with the update now, Bitcoin does have SegWit on the network because it upgraded. So it's still a 10-minute block, but more transactions can fit into that block now because of the way they've changed the network, and also now a Lightning network can be built as well with the update of SegWit. So not to get too technical, but it's basically just a difference in block time that's being added to the blockchain. And then the block rewards get halved at different points. So 210,000 blocks for Bitcoin, 840,000 blocks for Litecoin. So obviously they're built slightly different, but what this means is there's mining rigs all over the world and computers that are coming together with consensus, trying to figure out complex mathematical algorithms that basically verify the network, and then they get rewarded with that particular cryptocurrency. Well, what's happened is that, as you can see, the reward in 2014 was 50 Litecoins, and it was originally 50 Bitcoins until it halved, and now it's in 2014 it was 25 Bitcoin, and in 2014 it was 50 Litecoin, but Bitcoin actually halved again, so it's 12 Bitcoin per block for the current state of things in 2017, and also Litecoin halved. So in 2017 you get 25 Litecoin. So that is distributed to the people verifying the network that have mining rigs, computers, verifying and solving these complex equations. So that's just a slight difference in how they're built as well. And then obviously we don't really know who created Bitcoin. The anonymous man of Satoshi, man or woman, Satoshi Nakamoto, and the Litecoin creator, as I mentioned, Charles Lee, who was a prior Google engineer, and they were created on different dates. And the market caps we'll get into a little bit later, but you can kind of see here the market cap of Bitcoin was $10 billion in 2014, and Litecoin is 540 million. So quite a big difference, but Litecoin was probably the biggest altcoin back then as well. So as mentioned, they are mined differently, so they do have different blocks. Don't really concern yourself with this too much, but just something to kind of understand. So with Bitcoin, there's been a massive race for these things called ASIC chips, which is basically a process that you can put into mining rigs, and it speeds the process so that they can solve these equations and complex algorithms to get rewarded with Bitcoin. And with Litecoin, they don't run the same. With Litecoin, they don't run the same algorithm. It's a script. So just know that the way that they mine the coin and verify the network is slightly different. And that's obviously something that the creator and engineer of Litecoin wanted. So there's obviously a bigger demand for Bitcoin and Bitcoin mining, so the difficulty to mine the coin is higher, mostly because it's the go-to cryptocurrency, kind of grandfathers all the others. But yeah, just know there's a slight difference. And then transaction differences, because one, there isn't as much volume on the Litecoin network as the Bitcoin network, but the faster blocks being verified can speed up transactions. They're both private, so the sender and receiver can be anonymous. So it basically kind of means that the Litecoin network can potentially be quicker than Bitcoin, but a lot of factors go into that in terms of volume, user base, block verification time, and that sort of things. But now, as we mentioned, August 1st, with Bitcoin making a move to facilitate more transactions and try and be more mainstream and speed up the process and be more cost efficient with the movement of Bitcoin, it kind of highlights a sense of really being a player in facilitating a lot of transactions at once rather than being more of a hedge or a digital asset that you can't really buy a cup of coffee with, or go to the store and have your transaction verified within minutes or seconds. So with SegWit being activated on Bitcoin, it's a pretty big deal, and in 2014 that wasn't necessarily the case. So when looking at the market caps here, we have 10 billion and 540 million. If we look at them today on coinmarketcap.com, we have over 75 billion for Bitcoin, and then Litecoin is the fifth leading altcoin with just under 4 billion in their market cap. So we can see the rise and the money that's being injected into the cryptocurrency space. 3 years on, that's exponential growth. And obviously the coins have reached higher and higher heights. But we can now see that, Ethereum the recent hard fork, which resulted in Bitcoin Cash, and Ripple, which is a huge player, are kind of, competing. Well, what I always think is interesting, obviously, Bitcoin was the first thing that was ever created, and it's pretty amazing to see its journey. But when we think of Ethereum, I see that doing something different to Bitcoin in terms of smart contracts and building applications in a decentralized way. Bitcoin Cash, you know, I don't really see much difference in that in terms of what Bitcoin can offer people in terms of a borderless, trusted, open form of exchange and value. I think Bitcoin Cash was more on the miners than the users. And then Ripple really being a huge player in the remittance market. And then Litecoin being very much similar to Bitcoin, just a slightly different spin-off, but doing a sort of similar thing. So it was good to see the market caps growing and more money coming into this. If we go over here and we go to Coinbase and we look at Bitcoin, over the last year, we can see obviously big growth, and then hitting new highs coming into September, of just under 5,000 US dollars. And then if you really look at Litecoin, it's got a similar sort of path. And, some people say Litecoin was designed to be the silver to Bitcoin as the digital gold. But really, the two kind of follow somewhat of a similar pattern. As you can see here, it hitting kind of new highs in September, just as Bitcoin did. And kind of that up and down flow that Bitcoin has too. So you can kind of see the similarities in the process over the past year and over multiple years. So I think that's interesting and something to think about. But what really is the future of this? I think I don't think Litecoin will overtake Bitcoin. I think they do similar things, and the Bitcoin community and the engineers and developers behind it are willing to, keep flowing with Bitcoin and keep trying to improve the network for the best. And I think Litecoin will be the same too. It just doesn't have as much demand as Bitcoin is all over the world, and is the most used and recognized cryptocurrency. And Litecoin is growing. You can buy it on Coinbase through fiat currency. So that's always a big thing. But I do see both of them rising into the future, and I think Litecoin has massive upside. It's in my portfolio and something which I like, and I like the idea behind it. I just think it's good to have both, as I think, like we see in these trends, they'll go kind of up in tandem, and I see both having massive upside, as supply and demand is always a factor, and there'll only ever be so much supply, in terms of 21 million for Bitcoin, and then a higher amount for Litecoin, but the demand is growing. As you can see, the market cap coming up and up, so people are wanting to put more money into the cryptocurrency industry. So I hope that helped kind of just decipher a little bit between Bitcoin and Litecoin and the similarities and some of the differences. But I think going forward, they're two very promising projects. Obviously Bitcoin is, and a lot of people may look to diversify their portfolio into Litecoin as well. So thank you for watching. I appreciate it. If you got value from this video, subscribe to the channel wherever it's popping up. I have a bunch more videos that you could watch, and I have some good stuff coming up as well. If you want more information on Bitcoin and cryptocurrency, check out my free newsletter below. Free to subscribe. a lot of goodies in there, the latest and greatest in the industry. So I'm Matt Sheriff. Thank you for watching, and see you on the next video.